In July, our young people mobilized themselves to march against the shocking corruption at Parliament presided over by Speaker Anita Among. Regime security officers responded by arresting, torturing, raping and sodomizing the young people in police custody. Many were charged with being public nuisances and they were sent to prison. State institutions like the police, the military, and the Electoral Commission itself, which should protect the Constitution and the people, they choose instead to serve the interests of the regime. And instead of upholding the law fairly, they chose to selectively apply it against the people that are asking for a better country. We condemn in the strongest terms possible any attempt by those institutions to abandon their legal mandates and to hide behind guidelines or directives that are outside the law. No individual and no institution has the authority to override our Constitution. When the Electoral Commission, the police, or any other institution issues guidelines that contradict the law, we must then firmly reject them because those guidelines are illegal and they must be treated as such. As you all know, we are in the last 2 weeks of our presidential campaign. So far, we have faced the ongoing brutality and the interference from the regime. We have been intimidated, we've been tear gassed, we've been pepper sprayed and beaten. Our supporters are attacked and killed. The injustices go on. We are blocked from towns. We are blocked from using the main roads. We are being blocked from campaigning in some districts. And the injustices are countless. And yet everywhere we've gone, the reception from the people has been overwhelmingly positive. Millions of Ugandans have turned out to welcome us and to assert their readiness to reclaim their country and to start a new Uganda. One of our greatest achievements during the ongoing campaigns has been the reawakening of our people across the country. From Chisoro to Koboko, from Busia to Kabong, Ugandans have stood to reclaim ownership of their country and their future. Citizens now proudly, mic check. Citizens are now proudly and defiantly raising the national flag as a symbol of resistance, a symbol of a nation that belongs to all that live in it. And they raise the national flag unapologetically. We salute you, fellow Ugandans. Everywhere you go, everywhere we've been, ordinary Ugandans, regardless of their tribe, regardless of religion or the region where they are recognizing that they share the same struggles. The bad and impassable roads, the low access to grid electricity, underfunded public schools, health centers without medicines and staff, and the crashing cost of living. A market vendor in Nakawa, a farmer in Jinja, a teacher in Moroto, a youth in Chiruhura, all those Ugandans understand that their suffering is caused not by their neighbors, but by a corrupt and unjust system that has failed to serve them. This awakening, this new love for our country, and this new love for one another is an achievement that we take so much pride in this campaign so far. It shows that Ugandans now see each other as brothers and sisters, facing the same challenges and indeed deserving the same dignity. Throughout this campaign, we have not only exposed the failures of the current regime, but we also continue to explain in simple and clear terms what a new Uganda will look like under the NUP government, truly elected by the people of Uganda. As we approach the 15th of January, our message remains clear. Change will not be just about changing faces, but national systems and priorities as well. In our detailed campaign manifesto, it is shown that in a new Uganda, the following should be expected. We should expect an end to human rights violations, and a return to constitutionalism in its purest form. 2, security forces that protect citizens and uphold the rule of law fairly. 3, independent and professional institutions of state. 4, and this is very important, zero tolerance to corruption. 5, free quality public education to give our children a fair shot at life like they deserve in 2026. 7, is that 7 or 6? 7, jobs and fair pay for anyone willing and able to work, and social support for those citizens that cannot work for one reason or another. A development agenda, that is 8, a development agenda that will give youth, farmers, traders, small businesses, and others a chance to thrive. 9, equal treatment and equal service delivery to all citizens of Uganda, regardless of tribe, religion, or region. Those are the standards by which we invite Ugandans to hold ours and other future governments accountable. They are the core of a new Uganda. Now, to the young people of Uganda, those in the ghettos, those in the towns, those in villages, markets, schools, universities, those on border stages, those in the diaspora and everywhere else where you may be, you remain the heartbeat of the struggle, dear young people. Like I've said many times, an awakened generation that refuses to be bought, that refuses to be silenced or divided, can never be defeated. In 2026, you must remain disciplined. Please maintain your discipline, and please remain united and committed to the non-violent struggle, even when provoked. But again, while we promote non-violent struggle, you must also not take comfort in ignorance, but instead, you must take comfort in your right to self-defense, because there's no dignity in taking an unfair beating lying down if one can fight back. In any case, Article 3 of our Constitution grants you the unconditional immunity for any action you may take in defense of the Constitution. To the religious leaders, the cultural leaders, civil servants, professionals, business people, and those genuine colleagues in the opposition, we say to you that Uganda is bigger than me, Uganda is bigger than you, Uganda is bigger than all of us. We may differ on tactics, but we must all agree that our country needs a peaceful transfer of power and a new social contract grounded in justice and fairness. As we fight for a peaceful transfer of power, I remain alive to the importance of a new Uganda that will be managed nicely, decently, and morally right from the first day of transition. I therefore wish to assure all of you that we have already set in motion a transitional mechanism led by a technical team tasked to produce a detailed blueprint for the structure of a new government and other transitional arrangements. This team is reviewing institutions, laws, security, the civil service, service delivery systems, and consulting ordinary citizens to ensure that from day one, a new Uganda is governed in an orderly and constitutional manner. In the days immediately after winning the elections, our political teams will formally join the technical team and together refine the transition roadmap to agree on priorities and prepare systems and personnel needed to receive the instruments of authority come May 2026. During that transition period, we shall ensure safety of every citizen, regardless of who they supported in the past. We shall also ensure a broad-based, merit-driven government to reflect the true face of Uganda. Competent and patriotic Ugandans from all tribes, regions, genders, and backgrounds will be invited to serve in the leadership if they are up to the task. I want to encourage all of you, my fellow citizens, to reject the lie that nothing can change in Uganda. Everything can change in Uganda, and indeed, everything will change in Uganda. History has repeatedly shown that oppressive systems will always look unshakable until they fall. Every act of courage, every sacrifice, every truth spoken in the face of fear brings us closer to the new Uganda that we all dream of. Even those who defend the regime and do its dirty work, they know deep down inside that the present situation in Uganda can simply not go on forever. So let us reject the lies. Let us reject the tribalism. Let us reject hatred and division. Let us stand together and continue to document every single abuse against the people of Uganda. Let us continue to support the political prisoners, those that are harmed, those that are damaged, and their families too. Comrades, we must prepare for every eventuality in the coming election. This includes the possibility that the internet will be switched off. I therefore, at this juncture, want to encourage all of us, once again, to download the BitChat app now. This BitChat app is what we are going to use to communicate without internet and without mobile network. The more people that have BitChat app, the more effective its use will be in the coming days. And remember to keep your Bluetooth on at all times, because this app relies entirely on Bluetooth to function. So please download it now, start testing it now, and get used to it now. We shall use the BitChat to stay connected, to share DR forms and other important information, and to protect our votes, even if the regime tries to cut us off. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind all of us that January, the election of January, is a protest vote in its purest form. Millions of us should prepare to turn up and vote in order to overwhelm the dictator in the ballot box. If it happened to Marcos of Philippines in 1986, the year that Museveni took over our country, and if it happened to Yahya Jammeh of Gambia in 2016, then it can surely happen to Museveni in 2026. I don't know if you note the similarity of 1986, 2016, and 2026. Mark that and use it. See, comrades, the change that we seek will not come from guns or violence. It comes from the will of the people who express themselves peacefully through elections. That is why those who fear the people have perfected ways of stealing elections. Sometimes they steal them openly, and in other cases, they steal them quietly, step by step, between the polling station and the tally center. They stuff ballot boxes with pre-ticked ballots. They use more than one counting. They use more than one ballot to known supporters of the dictator. They manipulate the counting, skipping or repeating the numbers to erase the victories of those that of those that are winning and inflate theirs who are losing. Many times they also alter the figures on the DR forms along the journey between the polling station to the district tally center. And that is why I call upon all of you, comrades, to defend your vote with every energy, with every wisdom, and with every courage that you have left in you. Be at the polling station as early as 5 or 6 in the morning. Those who stuff ballots, they do it very early in the morning before most voters turn up. Your presence will therefore be the first line defense against ballot stuffing. Now, after casting your ballot, after voting, please listen to this in capital letters. stay at the polling station. The law allows you to stay 20 meters away from the polling table. Stay there and observe the rest of the process calmly and attentively. And we've always encouraged you, we continue to encourage you to use your camera. Even if the internet might be switched off, please use the camera and document on video everything that will be going on at the polling station. Please keep your eyes wide open at all times. When the counting ends and the results are declared, please remember that the law is on your side. Remember that. The Presidential Elections Act requires that once the counting ends, a copy of the DR form, and DR means Declaration of Results. So the law requires that a copy of the DR form must be immediately posted and displayed in a very visible place at the polling station for public view. Insist that the presiding officer at your polling station does this. Insist that the presiding officer, wherever you're voting from, pins a copy of the Declaration of Results form at the polling station, and please take a picture of it using your phone. Once the DR form is displayed, let as many of you keep and share that picture. We'll find a way that I might not talk about now of putting and bringing them all together. Now, to our polling agents and other volunteers, the law also allows you to escort the DR forms and sealed ballot paper boxes as they are transported from the polling station to the sub-county or division headquarters, where our agents will already be waiting and watching closely. We encourage you to please escort them, especially you, our brothers and sisters from the border community. Section 58 of the Presidential Elections Act requires all returning officers to electronically share with us in real time copies of each and every return form, tally sheet, and DR form. As soon as they shall have completed the addition of the votes in their respective areas of operation, we shall expect them to strictly comply with this provision of the law. Now, comrades, should the regime attempt to steal our victory, demand for it. Mukabanje. It is allowed in the law. Our constitution guarantees your right to assemble, your right to march, and your right to demonstrate in case they rig election. Do exactly that without waiting for mine or for any other leader's order. Mukanonye, mukalonde, mukakume, era mukabanje. Now, I want to remind all of you, fellow Ugandans, especially you that are skeptical about your right, those of you that are doubting their right in Uganda. Uganda was not built by cowards. This country was shaped by men and women who refused to accept injustice as a destiny. Every generation of Ugandans has been tested, and every time they are tested, the people have answered back firmly. In the 1920s, the Bataka movement rose when Ugandans were being pushed off their land and told to obey quietly. They refused, they organized, they resisted, and they won. They declared that no system, foreign or local, has the right to turn the citizens into beggars or into slaves on their own soil. In the 1940s, the African farmers said no to the exploitation through the Uganda African Farmers Union. They challenged the economic oppression head-on. They taught us that poverty imposed by injustice is itself a form of violence and must be confronted, resisted, and defeated. In 1953, the colonial government exiled the Kabaka, and they believed that fear would break the people of Uganda. But Ugandans responded with mass resistance. The Kabaka crisis showed us that authority without legitimacy will always collapse under the heavy weight of popular resistance and defiance. And when the time came for independence, Ugandans, our forefathers and mothers, did not ask politely for freedom. They demanded for it. They sacrificed for it. They paid a price for it. But ultimately, they achieved it. Independence was won through courage, not through fear. It was won through unity, not through division. It was won through unrelenting pressure from the people. Now, friends, especially you, the young people, I want you to know that that is our inheritance. Those people that stood firmly are our forefathers and our foremothers, and their blood is running in our veins. We are them in the current state, and we must not be intimidated. They stood and fought. They were less educated than us. They did not have technology. They were less informed than us, but they stood, they resisted, and they won. But today, that inheritance is being stolen from us. The promise of independence has been hijacked by a small group which rules us through fear, through corruption, and through the abuse of state power. Land is stolen, elections are manipulated, youth are brutalized, women are raped, and even men are raped as a way of humiliating them. Citizens are treated like slaves on their own land. Let us be clear, brothers and sisters. This is not stability, this is occupation by greed. And so, as we begin this year 2026, we say this without apology, that Uganda will not surrender. The Ugandans are not going to surrender their country. We are often asked what our weapons are. What do we have as weapons to fight back against oppression and dictatorship? Our answer is always clear and bold. Our only weapons are the Ugandan flag passed to us by our founding fathers and mothers, and of course the ballot. For the flag, it is not theirs, it is ours. The country, it is not theirs, it is ours. The future, it is not theirs, it is ours. The ballot, that one is sacred. It is the most powerful instrument ever placed in the hands of ordinary people. And the ordinary citizens of Uganda must use it and use it to the fullest. And that is why the ballot is feared. That is why it is stolen. That is why we must guard it jealously, peacefully, lawfully, but most importantly, collectively. Not with violence, not with hatred, but with courage, with vigilance, and with unity. This generation must understand its duty, because if we don't understand it, brothers and sisters, we must remember that history does not and will not forgive silence. Neutrality in the face of oppression is a choice, and a very wrong choice at that. Therefore, we must not make that choice. We must stand and be counted. The Bataka did not keep quiet. The farmers did not keep quiet. The people during the Kabaka crisis did not keep quiet. Those who fought for our independence, the very people we descend from, they did not keep quiet. Then why should we? Are we fools? No, we are not. We will not keep quiet. Brothers and sisters, let this new year mark a turning point in our country. Let fear be replaced by courage. Let the power return to its rightful citizens, the people of Uganda. We reject dictatorship, we reject corruption, we reject those who want to steal our future, and we declare with one voice that Uganda shall be free, not by bullets, but by the unbreakable will of the citizens of Uganda, and that is us, we the people. May this year, 2026, be a year when the curtain finally goes down on dictatorship and oppression forever. I thank you for listening to me, for God and my country.